What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new review. Today we are checking out a budget-friendly device from Nokia called the Nokia X5, but depending where you buy this phone you may also see this as the Nokia 5.1 Plus. However, this is the exact same phone, just the name is different for different markets. So you can find this phone for about $150, and for the price I feel that the phone offers pretty good value and it doesn't look or feel cheap. So first of all we get glass on the front and glass on the back, and even though the frame seems to be made out of metal, well, it is actually made out of plastic. And if you're looking for something similar to this but with a metallic frame, well, you can always check out the Nokia 6.1 Plus, because this one has a metallic frame but this one is about $50 more expensive. And there will be a review for this one sometimes next week, hopefully. Alright, so going back to the X5, first things first, we have Android 1 running on this device. Unfortunately, this hasn't been updated to Android 9 yet, so it's still running on Android 8.1. But you're basically running stock Android, so there isn't anything holding the phone back. We also get a 3.5mm audio jack at the top of the device, and the sound quality from it is pretty decent, and I feel that that's a very important feature, mostly for a budget device. So on the left hand side we have the slot for the SIM card, and this device can take either two SIM cards or a SIM card and an SD card. However, that SD card cannot be used as internal storage, so you can still save music on it, pictures and stuff like that, but you're not gonna be able to install apps on it. And moving to the front of the device, here we have a 5.86 inches IPS panel with a 19:9 screen ratio but a 720p resolution. And before you leave a comment saying that that resolution is not good enough, let me remind you that the iPhone XR that costs about $800 has a similar resolution as this screen. Alright, so the colors on the screen look great, the viewing angles are pretty good, the screen sensitivity is also pretty good, but I wish the screen would get a bit brighter, because if you take the phone outside in direct sunlight, it isn't that easy to see. So that's the only complaint that I have about the screen. Since we are in 2019, of course we have a notch that doesn't exactly serve any purpose. So in the notch there we have the speaker and an 8-megapixel front-facing camera, and unfortunately there is no LED notification light, even though there is a lot of space in the notch there. Now that front-facing camera is better than a lot of phones that I've seen, and even $500 phones that I've seen in the past. So if you have plenty of light, the pictures turn out really good, very sharp, the colors are very accurate, but of course they don't turn out that great if you don't have enough light. However, better than a lot of phones that I've seen in the past. The same goes for the rear camera. So on the back we have a 13-megapixel camera and a 5-megapixel camera, and the cameras do great as long as you have plenty of light. If you have plenty of light, even the portrait mode pictures turn out really good, so the edge detection around your subject is really good, and pretty much all the pictures that you're gonna take with plenty of light are good. They are sharp, they are detailed, and the colors are very accurate, and even the dynamic range is good. Now, as soon as you don't have enough light, the pictures don't look that great, but that was to be expected for a phone this cheap. I was also impressed by the battery life that I was able to get from the 3060 mAh battery that we have inside this device. So on one charge you can definitely make it run an entire day and get between 7 to 9 hours of screen time, and that's really good for a phone around $150. The phone also supports fast charging, even though the charging isn't that fast. So charging this device from 0 to 100 is done in about 2 hours with the charger that comes in the box, and that's done through the USB-C port at the bottom of the device. Also at the bottom of the device we have the only speaker available, and the speaker sounds really good for a phone this small, and this is a quick sample so you can hear how the speaker sounds. Moving on to performance, well, the phone is using the Mediatek Helio P60 paired with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage, but you can also get this phone with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. Now the performance from this device is very similar to the performance that you would get from another phone using the Snapdragon 660. However, I wasn't able to run the AnTuTu benchmark or the Geekbench 4 on it, so I can't exactly show you the benchmark results. However, I've been using this phone for about 3 weeks now, and I can tell you that the phone feels very speedy for 95% of the things that you're gonna do with it. The only thing that I found the phone not going smoothly enough is PUBG, believe it or not. So gaming is not that well optimized for the Mediatek Helio P60, but everything else, the Facebook app, Chrome, the YouTube app, everything that you're gonna do on this phone feels extremely speedy, except for some games. There is also a pretty good GPS unit inside it that only takes a couple of seconds to find your location, and once your location is found, it doesn't seem to lose it. The phone has all the sensors that you would find in a much more expensive device, including a gyroscope. As for connectivity, we have dual band Wi-Fi and 4G connectivity, but unfortunately there is no NFC. Here in Canada, the phone works on 2G, 3G and on 4G, but I wasn't able to check the band, so I can't exactly tell you if this would work in the US or not. The speaker at the top here could be a bit louder, but I guess it's good enough for a phone around $150. As for the speeds over the 4G network and the dual band Wi-Fi, they're pretty good and decent enough for a phone around $150. So to quickly conclude this video, for the price I feel that this phone offers really good value. We get great performance, we get a 3.5mm audio jack, we get a fingerprint scanner on the back that works really well, and the only downside, if we can even call this a downside, is the screen resolution, which is 720p. But other than that, the phone works really well. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.